Hi, and welcome to Web Development. This is a full course. This is week 3 of it, and we are learning HTML to begin with. My name is Bernice. This week we are looking at links, images, lists, maps, and validation. You always validate the code each time you update it. Links, anchor element is the A, and then what makes it the link is the href in the opening tag, and the href is the hypertext reference. So without that href, it's not going to link anywhere. You need to have that. So just having a and the text in the closing tag does not create the link. It's going to be that href index.html or whatever you're going to link to. And in this case, index.html is going to link to a page on your local site because that's a relative link. You can use uh, text, create a link for that, like the text home is going to link to index.html. You could also use an image or other content to link to another location on the page site or another web page or a request content from a server. And href is hypertext reference. Link colors, if it is blue, it's an unvisited link. Purple is a visited link, and red is an active link, which you're currently on. And those will be underlined. Those are the default colors, and you can change that with CSS later. We'll learn how to do that, but the default is this is how it's going to appear. So the different link types, relative versus absolute. Relative links are the going to be links on the same site. Uh, Absolute links would be links to other sites that require the full URL. Such URL is Uniform Resource Locator, and it's the address of the document page and includes the protocol to use, such as HTTP or HTTPS. So, an example of google.com, you would include the HTTPS colon forward slash and then the www.google.com. If it was a specific page that you were going to about or about.html, if you would give that part in there too, that would be in there. That this would just be if you wanted to go to the google.com site. So some examples, a link on the, if you're going to just link to something on the same page, you can do that with what's called a bookmark. You give like the element an ID in the opening tag. You give it an ID, and then later on you can create the link to it using the anchor tag and then the href. Then you, because this is an ID, you use quotes, the pound sign, the number sign, and the what you called it. That number sign is the ID. It means ID. So it will jump to when you click that text top, it would jump up to where that div was. Other things you can make turn into links are images, email, and phone numbers. Another thing you could do is embed a web page into a page using iframe. And an example that I'll show is with Google Maps. You can use Google Maps in an iframe to embed a Google map on your site. Images, there are different formats and they can be used for different needs based on what you're using it for, what the picture is, what type of picture it is, and what it's being used for. You may need to convert it to a different format for the best performance. So there's GIF, PNG, JPEG, and SVG. IMG is an empty element. There's no closing tag, so it's just the IMG. opening tag is the element. And inside that you include the source of the picture. So if it's in the same directory, it'd be example.png. If it was in if you had an images folder and inside that was an example, you'd have to put images and then example.png. And then you always want to include the alternate description of the image for if the image for some reason cannot be displayed, it'll be displayed, but also for accessibility purposes, you want to always include that description for screen readers that can't see the image, it'll be able to describe the image. Another thing you can do is optimize an image to reduce the file size or load time. And so there may be a trade-off in quality on that. And before you, tip is to always make a copy of the picture first and then optimize the copy. So you still have the original and you can you can crop it, make it smaller, adjust the quality, change the format to make so that they load faster. And that's important for customers, people using the site that will like faster load times. There's different image compressors on the website, on the web. One of them is the compressor.io. And then there's a couple documents I'll show you about, on the web. One's from Stack Overflow and the other one's Shopify. What their suggestions are on when to use the different image formats. Lists. There are three different lists. The unordered list. So that's going to be bullet points, and then the ordered list is going to be numbered. There are some different things you can do with the bullet points or the numbering looks like. So the unordered list is UL, and each list item would be in a list item tag, and uh, there would be a closing UL tag after the whole list. And the same with the ordered list is OL. Each list item would have a LI element, and then there'd be a closing OL tag. The description list is DL, and then there is a description term and a description details. So this is Stack Overflow, the different use cases of the PNG, GIF, JPEG, or SVG. There's a really good write-up in here on it. There's two types of compression, and then there's different color depths. So there may be different reasons why you would use different ones. And so this is a really good article out here that someone wrote up. And here is just a shorter one from Shopify with just JPEG and PNG, how to choose the right image format on Shopify, what they recommend. And so they give a whole write-up on here about the difference, when to use it, when to use each one. So each one, it's on a case-by-case basis of what you're using it for. And this is Google Maps. So if you go out there and if you were to share it, you could go to embed a map and then you can just copy the iframe from there. And that's what you would put into the iframe into it. And I'll show you an example of that. And then this is this is MDN here, WebDocs, and out here an example of the definition list or description list. It's DL description list, and then it's DL description list, and then DT is the term, and then the description of it. And you could actually put in another second one if you had two definitions. Sometimes you might have two definitions for something. So this here shows you an example of a description list element. And this is the compressor.io site, and it uses Bree. So you just drop your images there, and then you can choose your compression type out there. So that's one of the sites that you can use. All right, so this is the project this is week 3. So last week we built a basic template, which is some HTML5. The let's see, this is week 2 template. So the thing with the week 2 template is we put in the navigation like as a space holder, but they weren't linked to anything. So this week we are going, and the same with the footer, it has a copyright, but we can update that also this week. So we'll update the template, and then we'll create some new pages this week from that template. So in the template, we are going to add in the navigation, and this time we will, let's see, they're hyperlinked, they're blue and underlined by default because we have not visited those yet. And I think if I were to bring this up on a web browser, the home page would be showing, well, actually, this is the template, so it's not, that's why it's showing blue, because this is not the index.html. So these are the links here. We have the, because they're in the P, it's all in one line in the paragraph element. But then we have inside the paragraph, we have several links to each one of the pages. So we have the A and the href index.html. That's the home. And then we have some spaces and the diamonds. And then we'll have an about page, a partnership page, a gallery page, FAQ page, and contact page. If those pages didn't exist, when you clicked on it, it would just give you a not found error. I did go ahead and just from the template created the basic pages, but they are not edited yet. Some of them are not edited yet. So now we have the navigation. And so if we click home, this is the home page, about us, the partnership, gallery, FAQ, contact. And then on here, let's see, back to the home page. We put in images this week also. And then also part of the template is we're going to link to, in the footer, create a email link, contact at, this is wildrescues.net for this example. But so that's part of the footer in there. So, and we did that with an href, and then mail to. So then when you click on it, it would bring up your mail application, and then you could type in your email to them. Then, so let's see, so the index.html. So here we have now the navigation is there, and we have our content. We wrapped this inside a div and called it welcome. That may be used later for some CSS formatting. So right now it's just grouping those paragraphs into a div, a welcome div. And then we have another div called latest, and it's wrapping this part into that. So we have the welcome part here, and then our latest here, and that's dividing up each section with a div, and that's inside the main. And in the footer, we have an href, a mail to the email address. The about page, this part all looks the same because we're using the same template. What changes is inside the main part, we have different content. And so we are going to link to a different page, National Wildlife Rehabilitation Association. So that is a trap to an external site. It's a absolute HTTPS colon // and that with the and it gives it the target a blank. Should open another window or tab. So then the source, the image has the source. Images is the folder and the source is a JPEG. And then it has the alternate description and it gives it a height and width. And then this here is a list. It's an unordered list, such as bullet points. And then it just has several list items and closes it. And that is the same footer. The contact page has oh, the navigation's all the same. Inside the main, what is different here? It tells us where you can reach, and that phone number is not hyperlinked, but the email is hyperlinked there. So you do have a email, and then also the address is hyperlinked to go to Google. So if you clicked on that link, it would take you so that it would be open up in another window or tab. But an example of this that added into this for example purposes only, is this the map? This is showing the iframe. So I copied that source and that this was that whole iframe source I copied from Google Maps and added it in here. So then it displays a map there and you can adjust the map and move it around. So that is how you could put the whole map, embed it on there, or you could link to it this way. And if you clicked on that, it would open up another page with it. And then, what I didn't do right now, this is a laptop, but you would, if on a phone, if you clicked on the phone number, it would could bring up your phone to dial that. These are other pages that will be done later. So right now, those are just empty. So that is it for week 3. And I thank you and wish you a great week and see you next week. Thank you.